Aloha, my friends and family. How are you today? It is gray and drizzly here on the Big Island on the east side. And so I've driven out to the ocean. Let me see if I can share this view with you. It's so pretty. There it is. Anyways, I wanted to share with you also just some of the sweet things that I've learned here living on the island that have been so meaningful to me. In getting to live here, I feel so incredibly lucky, and I don't take any of it for granted. And nature gives me so many sweet opportunities to learn profound truths, simple but profound truths. And the one that is coming to mind is when I would walk out on the lava flow. It was one of the first things that just really had me in awe, was seeing little blades of grass growing in this, the old lava flow is the which is really sharp. It just looks like a huge rubble pile of rocks. And to see this little blade of grass with like no soil, and the rocks are so porous, the water just, it doesn't stay, it just drains right through. I'm sure there's a scientific explanation, but you're like, the water isn't there, albeit it rains all the time. There's no soil for it to pull nutrients from. How does this little blade of grass grow? And then also the coconut trees grow really good here. They grow really tall, they produce fruit in what seems like just rocks it's growing out of. And the thing that came to mind was that life finds a way. And the same spark of creation that's in that little blade of grass or in that coconut tree is the same spark of creation that's in us. And that, no matter what or where you're at, your life finds a way. And in addition to that, the whole like blade of grass and the pile of rocks, it makes me think of the sidewalks in the city where a flower would find its way growing through a crack. And that, that can nourish you for a time being, but some of us are meant to like move beyond the rock and the hard place, and some flourish there. And so, what nourishes your soul and where are you supposed to be planted ultimately? And if that rock in that hard place starts to feel too tight and uncomfortable, and life provides you a set of circumstances that allows you to pull your roots up and transplant, well, I'll digress. When I lived in Newport Beach, I remember getting up and getting ready for the day and having so much excitement and enthusiasm for the day, and then walk out the door, and by the time I got to my car, I would feel so exhausted and so tired from just like a minute walk out to my car. And there was just something about living there that sucked all the energy out of me. It's hard for me to completely articulate. It just wasn't where I was supposed to be anymore. And I think that, like the plant, a plant, that sometimes where it's growing, it comes to a place where it can grow no further and it needs to be transplanted. And, when you transplant something, you have to dig it up, and some roots are left behind. And, when you move and you have to say goodbye, whether it's across the ocean or across the country or across state, whatever, it hurts, it's hard. And then when you go to plant that plant back down, the leaves and the branches are a bit limp for a while, and with some love and extra attention, some water, nutrients, and just kindness, the roots take hold again, and it starts to grow and flourish and produce fruit or flowers. And if life is calling you to pull up your roots, I just say be brave and bold and go for it. And I have this little test I do with myself, that if I'm trying to decide what to do and I'm nervous or intimidated or scared, I'll say, what, when you're 90 and you look back on this moment, what will you wish you would have done? And then I can instantly decide what I need to do, whether I feel scared or not. And somehow it makes the fear kind of melt away when I know that I'm going to look back and go, I'm so stoked I did that. I'm so proud of myself. What a great adventure. So you can borrow that little trick when you're trying to decide what to do. What will the 90-year-old version of yourself have encouraged you to do when you're between a rock and a hard place, or when life is calling you in a direction that makes you have to leave some of your roots behind? So that's it for today from the edge of the east side of the Big Island. Much love and aloha. Ciao, ciao for now.